And let's start off with the breaking news, the headlines. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where eras come to an end. As you can see, everyone breaking news yesterday. Klopp resigns at the end of the season. The Manchester United situation is getting structure. Pep Guardiola and Man City are facing 115 charges. Guys, what's going on with the Premier League? You know what I mean? De Zerbi, there's got other managers in the fold. Ange Postecoglou's playing good football. You know, what's next for the Premier League as they prepare to lose one of the best managers in the last 5 to 10 years, guys? I'm pretty sure we could agree on that. I'm not going to compare him to Alex Ferguson. That's different level stuff, but a very, very good manager. You know, it's good news for Manchester United fans and Premier League rivals, but also it's difficult news. You know, if you were a Scouser, you'd probably sad, probably be having shedding tears. A lot of things would probably be going on. But right now, as it stands, you know what? It's leaving at the end of the season. Manchester United got Omar Barada and structure is coming in. How does that impact them going forward in the Premier League? Changes are afoot. Lots of different clubs are going through different stages of rebuilds. You know, there's another 6 months of football to be played. You know, 17 games left in the Premier League. How is it going to end? Guys, do you think the top four is shooting, nailed on? Or is there going to be shock rises and falls in the Premier League table? Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. You know what? Smash those notification bells so you can see when I'm live next. It's your boy, Mark, an MUFC fan. And this is the Views Daily Update. You know what? Era's come to an end. Guys, let's go. And let's start with the breaking information right now. Let's start with Manchester United, guys. You know what? Manchester United all day, every day. And there's some little news going on about what's going on with Eric Ten Hag and different stuff in the transfer market. Everything leads and points straight to the summer, guys. You know, as support as Eric Ten Hag, as well as new sporting director confirms moves for the likes of Joshua Zirkzee, as well as other players that are probably, going to move to Manchester United in the summer. There's always been talk of, Serge Malinkovic, Savage, and all these kinds of things. But right now, we're going to move to some young players, like that's going to come into Manchester United. Talk is afoot. And guys, it's interesting. It's always interesting to see that so many players are linked with Manchester United over and over the course of every single transfer window. Is like, who do you know? Who's actually coming? Lots of people were saying Ten Hag was interested in Brian Bobby, but that was not 100% true. Some people are saying Manchester United and Ten Hag are interested in shaking things up and trying to get their hands of Jules Koundé. But, do you believe these rumors, guys? Do you believe these rumors? Lots of talks are afoot. But are they sensible? Are they making sense, or are they just talk? Clickbait rumors, guys. At the end of the day, there's lots of news, and there always will be lots of news hanging around, as there are also going to be reports of maybe Vinicius Jr. coming to Manchester United to help facilitate their Kylian Mbappe move, But I don't think all of these things are what should be the focus right now. As a fan, I think, we all should sit down and look at the facts that, where are we at this moment? We have a decent manager that came in last season, proved to us that he could get us in the top four, get us into 2 cup finals domestically, and win one. He's not been having a great time this season. Also, the team has been underperforming. Stars like the likes of Marcus Rashford aren't leading the squad as a senior. With performances, other players like Bruno Fernandes has been less disciplined in his midfield role this season, and more all over the place than anything else. So, there's lots of contrast and contradicting things that are happening with the club right now. The takeover that was going on through the beginning of the season since before the summer started, now coming to an end with a 25% stake. New owners coming in, still yet to be ratified. A new CEO's hired starting in May, probably influencing shifts as we speak in Omar Barada. How does the season look as we forecast for Manchester United? And in my honest opinion, not purchasing anyone in the January window might be the best solution. That way we could further examine this squad and see what is necessary and what is unnecessary, and which players we need to move on. Lots of fans have probably given up on the likes of Anthony as well as other players for their poor performances. And even some fans were always, on the fence with players like Marcus Rashford, Luke Shaw, as well as Scott McTominay. How do we navigate these principles? What are the right answers? Are there any particularly correct answers, or are we just unsupposed to just do what we can? I say we find a formula. We give these players a few months to perform, knowing that their careers are on the line and they need to do their best. And then we see where we go from there. We know the team has recently, made a transition from counter-attacking style football to a more open attacking play football, Gergen press style. And it's gonna take some time for us to move forward. Now, lots of people look at the squad and say there's talent in there. These guys have performed. But if you look at some of these players, maybe they are not flexible enough to cross the barriers of a different playing style. And in so doing, they are unable to properly execute the manager's, you know, directives on the field. Sometimes it's not always black and white. Sometimes it's not always that simple. A new manager comes, tells a player to run left instead of running right. It's not always going to happen just like that. Some players may not be interested in changing their styles. Some players may not be interested in working hard or running more. They might be, grown into their persona as a person, as a player from the years and experience they've had. So sometimes change might be necessary. And then it may involve some important players in the squad, players who are fan favorites, poster childs of the club. All these things might be necessary in order to fully augment the ethos at the club right now. Guys, what are your thoughts? Get in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. You know, the talk is that, Eric Ten Hag is probably going to get to fulfill his contract, which has one more season on it after this season finishes. I think it's a good idea. I think if we build the structure around him, having the likes of Omar Barada will hugely impact the performances of players. Not only that, but the performances of backroom staff. It will certainly improve the way we negotiate and the way we recruit, in my honest opinion. So, guys, what are you thinking? Bye bye, Klopp, as Compo Smith is coming in 100%. Great news for Manchester United fans. Great news for fans of the Premier League. And, one less manager to have to worry about, At the same time, the competition is still probably going to be evolving, as we have seen this season coming down to the end of last season. Lots of other teams have stepped up themselves holistically. If you look at the Brightons, and teams like Bournemouth, teams like West Ham, Aston Villa, these teams have evolved and they now want to challenge. Are we going into the best years of the Premier League right now? Or is it certainly going to get better as it progresses? Guys, these are all questions. As you can see, Spurs has hired a Ange Postecoglou. Everyone at the beginning of the season before it started was like, who is this coach? He's coaching Australia. He's coaching the Scottish League. What is he going to do? And right now, Spurs are sitting in fifth and, probably shoe in for top four. Guys, what are your thoughts in the comments? Now, my honest opinion on Spurs are their usual bottle jobs, and they're probably going to bottle it in the next 10 games. But you never know, because Ange Ball, like everyone certainly loves to call it, has been working in most cases. Last night they faced City and they were severely dominated. It almost looked like a cat playing with a mouse. You know what I mean? 2 shots for 90 minutes, 2 shots on target, while City had 18 with 9 shots on target. Man, domination, less than 38% possession. They could not do anything in that game. It was a dismal performance by Ange Ball, to be honest. Big up to you, Shea Arsenal fan. And I'm now going to move on to that section and talk about Mikel Arteta. Some fans of Manchester United might call him Mikel Sharteta, but Arsenal fans love the guy. They think he's the chosen one. And, he's not a bad coach, in my opinion. I think lots of coaches, especially when they're not as experienced as others, are going to take time to get teams to perform well. He's took over Arsenal, who historically is, a relatively big club. May not be as big as Manchester United, but relatively huge in the Premier League settings. And I would say over the last 3 years, he has made progress. May not always be the progress that the fans were looking for, but maybe when they changed everything from the stylistics they had and ethos they had when he came in to now, you can clearly see that they are a better team. People say they are a young team, but they are a young team with lots of experience. I mean, this is Bukayo Saka's 5th or 6th season in the Premier League. You know, I often compare him to Greenwood as a Manchester United fan, and in 2 seasons, Greenwood has scored more goals and more assists than Saka took to do in until this season recently. Great, but he's a very talented young player. Nevertheless, maybe I think he needs to do much better. I think he's gotten a little bit into like the same old, something like a Marcus Rashford. He needs to change things up a little bit so he can improve. But all in all, I think, a decent manager, wouldn't mind seeing him one more season at Arsenal. Hopefully they win something for Arsenal fans. But I'm thinking you're not going to win the FA Cup, Shay. I'm sorry to break that to you because I think it's coming home to Manchester United. And you know what, guys? We're Man United fans. At the end of the day, if Arteta loses, I think, you know, it will be a loss, but at the end of the day, beneficial to Manchester United. You know what I mean? I'm all for having the best competition in any way, so I'm not going to always be like, yo, Klopp leaving is great. It might be make things a little bit easier when facing Liverpool, but at the same time, having the best competition in the league is always better. It makes you're really competing with the best. Yeah, well, Arteta still hasn't brought through any kids. Martinelli and Saka were Emery, 100%. Big up to you coming in. Big up to you, Admiral Drex. You know how it is, my bro. And yeah, people always, Manchester United fans are hung up with the fact that we have so many youngsters that they want to see getting chances. But if you look at the league, how many other teams are playing youngsters in their first or debut season right now? Not many. Certainly not Arteta, certainly not Klopp, and certainly not Pep. People see Oscar Bob and forget Oscar Bob has been making appearances for the last 2 seasons at Man City. It's insane. Guys, your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Let's move right along because you know what? As we talk about Man City and Oscar Bob, Man City are facing 115 charges, guys. Could this be the spell of the end of Klopp, of Pep as well? Because you know what? He may not be complicit because we don't know, but at the same time, what is this going to deal? Because at the end of the day, if you look back in other news going around Europe in football, Barcelona is also facing charges for match fixing over a period of 7 years, including Pep's 3 years at Barcelona. Could we be seeing some kind of situation where Pep loses some of his trophies based on the actions of the clubs that he's been working for, like Barcelona and Man City? I mean, UEFA came out yesterday to say that, yeah, City is guilty. We found them guilty. We wanted them banned from the competition last season, but CAF did not, concur with us. They had a panel of 2 judges that they supplied. One was neutral, and the neutral one sided with UEFA. So, guys, it's one of those things where I look at it like, you know what? There's going to be some seismic shifts coming at the end of this season. Maybe Pep might be leaving Man City. Where is this going to leave the league? Guys, are there Manchester United fans who still think we should sack Eric Ten Hag in this sort of situation? Liverpool looking for a manager. Man City possibly might be looking for a manager. Guys, I think it's going to be crazy. Pep only after a 1 year extension is very telling, in my opinion. He's getting itchy feet. In my honest opinion, I feel like that too as well. At the same time, seeing Jurgen Klopp resign, Pep might think of something the same way along at coming to the end of the season and take a break. I would hate for him to have his career tarnished by the dealings of certain businessmen in the different clubs that he's worked with. Because at the end of the day, it's one thing to try your best to cut corners to win, but at the same time, at what cost? You know, is it going to come back to bite you in the end? Guys, there are lots of young managers up and coming. The manager Michel at Girona, the manager over at Sporting Lisbon. There's Xabi Alonso coming in. People are talking about possibly Zidane taking over at Liverpool. All these different things. Guys, where are your thoughts? What are you thinking? What do you think is the next step, for different clubs that are facing these situations? Clubs looking on at these clubs who are losing their leaders, like, Liverpool losing Klopp, possibly might cause the exodus from Brighton. De Zerbi might go to Liverpool. You never know. Xabi Alonso might go there. How is this going to change the dynamics of the Premier League? I think it make things interesting. It's going to liven things up a bit, give a change, bring a certain unknown entity to the sport of football in England. New managers come in doesn't always mean he may not get it right. While there may be, sample sizes to say when managers change, the next manager comes in usually has a hard time. You never know. Things aren't set in stone, and the next manager coming to Liverpool could hit the ground running, just like Ange Postecoglou did at Spurs. Guys, I think we're going to be very, very entertained over the next few months watching Premier League football. There's also the Champions League and Europa League and FA Cup as well to be paying attention to. And I think there's going to be lots of exciting upsets in the games. I think you should not be ruling Manchester United out of top four, as well as, ruling out other teams that might making late last minute surges at the end of the season. Manchester United in the FA Cup this weekend. Tomorrow they take on Newport County. We've seen Spurs go out to Man City last night. There are replays going on for other teams who've all ended in draws yesterday. What is next, guys? What is next? Do you think Manchester United can go to the last round, maybe the semifinals or the finals of the FA Cup? Can Manchester United get back into top four contention? We're certainly going to see how this goes, because it's definitely going to take some enormous performances with consistent plays. We need to consistently perform well, defend well, hold the midfield, create chances, and be clinical and score them. We can't afford to get the next part wrong. We are already playing catch up. 100% compost. Right now, Manchester United needs to be patient with their moves, because we've seen how we kept doing things wrong over the last decade. I mean, we got Eric Ten Hag right now, but it doesn't mean that he might be the guy that would take us forward for the next 5 years. He might be the guy to set things and stabilize things, but then someone else might come in and take over. You never know. What's most important is that Manchester United take their time. Let Omar Barada bring in a sporting director to work with. Let him bring in, a director of football to work with. And then let these guys form a structure, form a system, and plan and do things step by step and get to the point where we need to be. If it's working with Eric Ten Hag and, letting him suggest some players, and then they find maybe the same player or a player of a similar profile, we need to do these examinations now. We need to scan the squad that we have left. Whatever youth that are left in the squad, give them chances, see what they are about, and try to get into the top four and get into Europe next season, because it's going to be key to our summer transfers, guys. And you know what? Eras are coming to an end, but new eras will be beginning. Which new era will it be? Will it be the Ten Hag era, the Arteta era, the Ange Ball era, or the De Zerbi era? Or will Pep continue his dominance? Guys, your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Hope you all have a great day, I'm going to be back later on at 5 p.m. UK time, or I believe it's 4 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. UK time with some news about CONCACAF and World Cup qualifications. For those of you interested, I'm going to be talking about the different regions of World Cup qualifications, the new format for the 2026 World Cup, including the 48 teams, the group stages, how it's going to be set up, the Tri Nation tournament that's going to be hosted across Mexico, the USA, and Canada, and how does it affect each regions, which teams are likely to probably qualify in the top 4 spots, because all regions have been expanded. So it's going to be a lot of excitement, more teams in the World Cup. It's going to be a 6-week tournament instead of a 1-month tournament, guys. It's going to be lots of football, and I hope you are there. You know what? Peace out, guys. Hope you have a great day. Big up to you, Campo Smurf. Exactly, bro. I think if we sack him, eat Barca or Bayern, even City, you never know, guys. So what? Have a great day, guys. See you back a little bit later, and don't forget to smash the like buttons on your way out. Leave a comment in the non-live section. Let me know what you're thinking. What are your views? Hope you have a great day. It's been your boy, Mark, an MUFC fan, with the daily update. Eras are coming to an end, but you know what? Eras are also about to begin. Will it be the Ten Hag era? Guys, I certainly hope so. Hope you have a great day, and I'm out.